What is going on, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Growth, Grit, Grind podcast. I'm your host, DJ Shirley. I'm the owner of Speak Loud Group. We are a digital advertising and marketing agency here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We had an awesome guest lined up for today. Unfortunately, that particular guest, he is located in a remote area of Alaska and was unable to connect with us today for this podcast, but we have some awesome guests lined up in January and then through February, and we're working on March and April as well. So we're excited about today still. I have a really hot topic to discuss with you today that I hope can be of help to you entrepreneurs and business leaders that are out there, and that is AI and ChatGPT. And I'd like to show you just a little bit of the things that we've explored, that we've been able to implement, not only in our business, but have helped other people implement in their business to save themselves some time, to generate some ideas and different things like that. ChatGPT and AI is a really hot topic right now, and there are some that are on the fence and think that AI and ChatGPT are going to replace people's jobs and steal jobs, things like that. And we've looked at it as really quite the opposite of it is another tool. It is a tool that can be used. I firmly believe that right now, ChatGPT and AI still need some level of human interaction and human direction for sure. I don't know that it's going to completely do the job or completely replace people. Are there options at some point that, of course, we have assembly lines that have robots on them now versus human beings, but there are still human beings that have to run that programming and design that programming. There are still jobs that are being created for that space. So I don't want to get in the argument of if it's good or if it's bad. I know that we look at technology like the only way that we can look at technology and try to use it to our advantage for what it is and what it is available and how we can implement it into our businesses and how we can use it, and not only use it, but also teach other people how we're using it and how they could use it in their business too. So today's going to be a little bit of, an interactive. I'm going to do some screen sharing. I'm going to show you a little bit. I'm going to talk about it, and then we're actually going to see it in action. So for those of you that are listening on one of our, listening channels, you feel free to hop over to the YouTube. If you would like to see some of the visuals, then they will all be there. If not, hey, listen, follow along, and we're excited that you're here, and let's just kind of get started right now. So we're just going to jump into a little bit of screen share. We're going to talk about a few ideas and ways that you can implement, and then we're going to jump back and forth. So we're going to be doing a little bit of screen jumping, so just follow along with me. That way we can track along. So we want to talk about AI and your business and how you can integrate that into your daily workflow, daily task, things that you're doing that you could have some of your staff implement, whether it be from marketing to advertising, brainstorming. There's so many different avenues that you could be using AI and ChatGPT in your business today. So let's just start kind of at the top. Something that we deal with on a daily basis, and that is content creation. We hear businesses constantly that they just do not have time to do content creation. And look, I'm going to preface this by saying, we are a digital advertising and marketing agency at heart. We started this podcast because we want to hear what other businesses have gone through, and we want to hear their story, and we want to hear their adversities that they've overcome. We want to hear the things that they're working through right now, because we all get better through it. That being said, we want people to hire us to do these things. So I'm going to give you some of this AI, and I'm going to give you some of this ChatGPT, but I want you to understand at the end of the day, there is nothing that can replace working with someone that is a true professional. Websites are not our thing. We work on websites and we do SEO and different things like that. We do content, we do video creation and funnels and things like that, but actually building of a website, we don't do. But for me to have two sides of a coin of an AI program that is able to build me a website in 5 minutes versus being able to work with an actual web developer that can listen to my needs and my concerns and implement the exact things that I want to be implemented, I'm going to go work with the person every single time. So I hope that makes sense to you, that these tips and these tricks and these ideas that I'm going to try to give you today are simply that. They're simply a tool that can be used. Maybe they're a Band-Aid for a temporary time. Maybe you're trying to get your business to a place to where you can bring on an agency like ours. We talk to companies and organizations like that every single day, that they're not exactly at the point where they can afford to for sure bring someone in, in-house full time, but they can't afford to outsource it to an agency as well. So they're needing to find kind of a middle ground solution. And that's what I'm hoping to provide to you today, is that this could save you a little bit of time as you're in that startup phase, as you're in that growth phase, and you need some of that time back to continue to grow the business, that this may be able to save you some time and give you a little bit of a solution while you're working through it. So starting with content creation, and again, we're going to jump back and forth. We're going to switch screens, and we're actually going to go look at ChatGPT and give it some prompts and kind of see what it does. So content creation, you can do customer data analyzation through AI, is that you can plug in the list, you can plug in your key demographics, whether it be age brackets, it be a geographic location, whatever it may be. You can plug different things into multiple of these AI tools and say, this is what my customer looks like. Give me more information on that demographic. You can ask it, a lot of what we've seen and we've done research on is ChatGPT is as good as the prompts and the information that you give it leading up to those prompts. So if you give it a set of information, whether that be age ranges, it could be locations, it could be interest that you found out that through targeting, there are so many different things that you can find out and then plug it into an AI source and say, give me more, expound on this. This is what I know about my customer. Give me further information about what my customer more than likely looks like. Because the better that we know who our customers are, and this is just us going back to our roots of marketing and advertising, the better that we know who our client's customer avatar is, the better we know what they look like and the things that they like and the things they like to do in and out of work, the things they like to do with their families, the better we can paint that picture and the better that we can deliver targeted messaging to them and connect with them. But you can use these tools to begin to give you some of that information. You can have it analyze your customer data. It can also create automations, is that there are certain levels of automations that you can build out. And we're going to touch a little bit of those, or at least one of those in the tips and tricks. But when you're looking at, let's say you're working on content creation, you're like, you know what, I need to have at least a post out, every other day, or I'm going for the home run. I want to have 2-3 posts out a day, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what they should be about. I need help. That leads right into that creating automation and idea generation, is that you can use ChatGPT and AI to help you develop some of those ideas and to give you that spark of creativity. Because at the end of the day, not everyone may be like myself and our team that just sits back and goes, this would be great. This would be funny. This would be engaging. This would be. A lot of business owners are sitting back going, I need to pay the rent. I need someone to come in and buy this. I need someone to call about this service. Like, that's the things going through people's heads on a daily basis. They're not sitting back going, how can I make a funny post? Or how can I make a post that would connect with my community? They're not thinking about those things. So when it comes time to do that and they have it on their list of, 2024, we want to tackle adding these elements to doing better at social media and content creation, but we don't even know where to start. Like, you can go back to the generic of like, we're going to introduce the team and we're going to do some behind the scenes and we're going to do a day in the life of, like, you can start with those things, but by day 7, you're spent, you're done. You don't know which direction to go in anymore. You're already back at square one where you're like, okay, now I just give up. And so I want to show you just a couple of ideas that you can use to help alleviate some of that and help save you some of that time. So we're going to switch over to the other one. This is my other screen here. I've got ChatGPT pulled up, and we're going to say, let's just say that you're a plumber. Can we go with that? Can we run with plumber? I am a plumber working on social media content. I would like to generate 1 post a day for 30 days. I would like a mixture of tips and tricks. Really can't type, can I? Like tips and tricks, tools, trade, staff, intros, project highlights, and let's say some funny post. Please provide detailed list of ideas and copy for 30 days worth post. That's what I entered. I'm going to recap it. I'm a plumber working on social media content. I would like to generate 1 post a day for 30 days. I would like a mixture of tips and tricks, tools of the trade, staff intros, project highlights, and funny posts. Please provide me a detailed list of ideas and copy for 30 days worth of post. Enter. Now we're just going to let it start going. I'm just going to read off a couple of them. We won't stay stuck on this, but I just want to give you an idea of content generation using ChatGPT or AI. And so, as you can see, it's starting to go. The post, the caption, or the idea of the post for day one is how to prevent clogged drains. And the copy says, start your month with a clear drain. Remember, no oils, no hair, no worries. Hashtag plumbing tips. Very simple, very easy, to the point. Now, what would you couple with this? Is you would either do a video at your drain at your house or at your office, and you would maybe have some of those things. You would have maybe fake hair or some oils or some different things that it's telling you that you do not want to send down the drain. Or you could make this with Canva. You could go into Canva and you could create a quick graphic. You could probably go Google. You want to be careful with copyright things, pulling Google images, but you could develop an image that tells a story. Maybe it literally could be a picture of a sink and like have an X over it, something along those lines. Going a step further, you can, under ChatGPT 4, you can have it generate images as well. It needs work, it needs tweaking, but it will generate images. The one thing I've seen it not be able to do is it's not great with text. The text is going to be all over the place. It's going to be misspelled. It's going to be weird characters. But if you tell it, provide me images for these posts without text, sometimes it listens. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that every single time it's going to generate this incredible graphic and you should be ready to go. But it may give you a starting point. It may give you an idea. Maybe even give you something that you can just go plug into Canva and use. Let's see. Let's just look at day 2. Tool of the trade. Spotlight on pipe wrenches. Meet the mighty pipe wrench, our go-to tool for gripping and turning pipes. Hashtag tool time. The reason I said tools of the trade is because I think there are things that we all use in our businesses and I mean, sometimes it's like it could be computer, it could be software. It could, like with us, we have cameras and all kinds of this fun tech stuff. But showing some of that off, I think it connects that you're a professional. Like you have some of these things. Like a pipe wrench is probably a bad example. A lot of people have pipe wrenches laying around. But some of the tools that you use, you have your average garden. I think of plumbers, you have like the regular snake thing that you can buy at like Home Depot for $30 or $50. But then you guys have like these awesome, super expensive snaking tools, and you could talk about the difference. Like, here's your average household snake, and here is the ones that we use, and here's the differences, and here's what you can do to damage your plumbing by using one of these from Home Depot if you don't know what you're doing. But here's what we're able to do to actually really get that clog out and do those different things. That's what I like about tools of the trade. Staff intro. Meet Jake, our plumbing pro. Jake's been solving plumbing problems for over a decade. Hi, say hi. Hashtag Team Tuesday. I like playing on words, things like that. Work Wednesday, fun Friday, Taco Tuesday, motivation Monday. Like, I like playing off some of those things. Don't get over the top with it, but sometimes it gives you a place to put it too. Is like Tuesdays, every first Tuesday, every third Tuesday could be your Team Tuesday. So it gives you an idea. Project highlight: before and after kitchen sink installation. Transformed a kitchen with a sleek new sink. Check out the before and after Transformation Tuesday. Here we go. Get to a funny post. The post says, "Why did the tap drip? Because it lost its faucet cuss." Okay, that one's not great. I'm gonna give you on, like, this is raw. I'm giving you the raw, but you could keep going down these, and there would be some really good ones in there. You can also take this a step further. Like, these are obviously captions and copies. You can go further as to ask it about a photo idea. You could ask it about a video concept. You can do these different things to at least, again, spark ideas. This already, if we scroll through here, there's going to be 5 or 8 or 10 things in here that you're going to like. So I would stick with using it as a tool. It is not the Bible truth. It is not going to be that you're going to be able to copy and paste right from here, but it's going to give you ideas that you can run with to be able to use to save yourself some time and to save some of that brain power that you're working on. So we're going to switch screens again here. We're going to go back and kind of move on to the next topic. This next thing we're talking about is writing blogs. Writing blogs is something that I do love ChatGPT for. We're talking really heavy on ChatGPT, but when we talk about AI in general, there are numerous different types of products that are out there. When we start really diving into like customer research data, analyzing different pieces of software and things like that. There are other AI tools that more specialize in that, but today we're really sticking with ChatGPT for the most part because there's just so much that you can be doing through ChatGPT and it alone. So let's talk about writing blogs. Number one, when you're writing a blog and you're wanting to write about a specific topic, there's going to be a level of research that's going to go into it. There may be some things that you already know about your business or about your market or the things that people want to hear about, but you can do some of that research directly through ChatGPT. So let's say, we use plumbing. Let's use taxes. Let's use like tax advisory or a CPA, things like that. You could use ChatGPT to research some of the top topics. What are people asking about tax time and filing taxes and business taxes? Depending on what lane that you're in, you can ask ChatGPT for an initial draft to kind of spark an idea. That's kind of our next bullet point. There is that you could give it an initial prompt. It is and we'll use one of these in just a second. But you could give it an initial prompt and say, this is kind of what I'm wanting to talk about. Give me a rough draft for a blog post again, I'd give it a lot of detail. Tell it exactly about your business, exactly who you are, exactly who you're targeting and going after. Give it all of those details and then tell it that you want to write this blog post about tax filing and the benefits of filing early or filing an extension or changes in 2024. There's a lot of different things that you can ask it, and it's going to, again, you need to. I have in here, my next bullet point is proofing and editing, is that you can give ChatGPT your draft back. Maybe you started one and you can ask it to kind of punch it up or elaborate or add additional key points to it. But you need to proof this thing afterwards. Even if you have ChatGPT write the lion's share of it, you need to go back and proof it. You need to go through it. You need to add your personal touch to it. You need to add your branding messaging to it. You need to do the different things. I am not one that I want to take something and go copy, paste, done. Is that, I may use ChatGPT or integrate it with a client to give them that spark. That's really what we want to use it for at this point. If it gets to the point to where it really can hone in and you've given it enough information about your business and what you do and who you target and who you go after and your core values and all of those things, then it can probably get really good. It could probably punch out something that would be, you're like, wow, this could absolutely be posted right now. But I'd be very cautious of that and very careful with that. I would proofread it. I would go through it. I would make sure that your message is in there, that your language, your kind of brand persona is in there, versus just saying, well, this guy said that I can just go copy and paste from ChatGPT. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But let's switch back over there. And let's give it a little bit of a go, and we're just gonna try something out over here. We're gonna go back to our other screen, and we're gonna come in here, and we're gonna say, what did we use? Tax attorney. Let's switch it up and do pest control. We need to write a blog post about pest control. And why, let's just say business owners should hire a professional. I really can't type it. It's weird typing on I feel like 4 different screens going, so it's kind of strange. Should hire a professional pest control company. Want to talk about pest control during the winter time here, during the winter months, and why it is important. And then I always like to, if I'm telling someone to add, obviously it's going to put a bunch of really good keywords in there too, but I like to give it additional prompts. Be sure to include SEO rich keywords for services. And let's just, because for sake of time, I need to write a short blog. You can elaborate. You could tell it anything you want to. You set the parameters. You can say under 150 words, under 100 words, more than 200 words. You could really tell it anything you want to. You could tell it to mention specific locations. You could tell it to mention branding. You could tell it to use certain hashtags. There's a lot that you can do there to expand on it. You actually could have it write the initial draft and then give it additional prompts as well, and it'll kind of tweak it a bit. So that's one thing that's nice about it too, is it'll take the information it's already given you, and you can tweak it from there. Because you can say, I like this, but change the title or change this or change that or swap out, like the previous one we used for these postings. Is you could say, I want more funny posts, generate another 30, but every other one is humorous. You can do that. But let's hit enter. Let's see what it comes up with. Certainly, ChatGPT is so friendly. Here's a draft for a short blog post focusing on the importance of hiring professional pest control services, especially during the winter months, with an emphasis on SEO-rich keywords for commercial pest control services. Exactly what we asked you, ChatGPT. Thank you so much. So let's just kind of take a glance at it. You've got the title there, Why Business Owners Should Opt for Professional Pest Control Services in Winter. first kind of bullet point there is winter pest control necessity for every business. As temperatures drop, your business isn't just a hub for customers, but potentially a haven for pests seeking warmth. This is why commercial pest control services become crucial during the winter months. While pests are often considered a summer problem, winter brings its unique challenges, making professional pest management essential for your business. Then we kind of keep going. Let's say we've got the unseen winter pest, where it talks about a lot of the different pests. Those are good keywords there because you're talking about specific types of pests that people could be Googling or searching for. Professional pest control is more than a quick fix. It talks about DIY methods. That's a good one because people could be searching that as well. Great SEO there. Health and safety first, long-term peace of mind. Let's just pick one. So customized solution for your business. Each business is unique, and so are its pest control needs. Professionals offer customized plans that not only address current infestations, but also help prevent future ones. This proactive approach is particularly important in winter when pests are more determined to find shelter and resources. You can go down, you can kind of see the actual SEO keywords too. I like the breakout. It gives you some of those things. A lot of different blogging softwares allow you to enter those keywords separately. So that's a good one. So this is a spark to give you an idea of the capability of ChatGPT. And that was an example of, we had it write an incredible blog post for a commercial pest control company. I would want to go in, I would want to tweak it, I'd want to add branding to it, but you have to think about the possibilities just off of this blog post. This blog post not only gives you a blog post that can go live on your website and start enhancing some of your SEO presence, but you can also build content off of the blog post. Is that you could take this blog post, add the link to a social post, and then have a graphic that was there. The 3 to 5 reasons, how many ever were there, 3 to 5 reasons why you should be looking at hiring a commercial pest control service during the winter, or why having a commercial pest control professional during the winter is important. Check out our most recent blog post. You can generate, you don't even have to link to the blog post if you don't want to. I would, because I'd want to try to get that traffic over there. But you also could just simply create content around it. You could take that health and safety first, or that long-term peace of mind, and make a post just about that. So you're also giving yourself additional ideas from this, from it generating this. So again, I want to emphasize, I wouldn't just run with it. I would go through it. I would read it. I would add my own spin, my own touch to it. I would want there to be some brand messaging. I'd want there to be some, specific to my customer avatar, what they look at and what they service. I'd probably have a couple of examples in there. Might even have a story. Recently we were able to help Bob over at his warehouse because blah, 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 blah. I'd go through that story and add that personal touch to it. Maybe even have a picture of Bob with his thumbs up next to one of my trucks or something like that. I would want to add that personal element to it. So, keep that in mind as you're walking through that. But for writing blogs, it's an awesome tool. Going into SEO, we touched a little bit of that on the blog side. Being able to add a blog to your website is going to do great things for your SEO. You're able to build in additional keywords. You're able to do different things that you can't necessarily always do on individual pages of your website. And there's a frequency factor to it. If you're releasing a blog once a week, realistically, even if you're releasing one once a month, I would encourage you to do it a whole lot more than that. But even if you're only doing it once a month, it's an update to your website. It is additional keywords being added. There are a lot of benefits to adding a blog to your website. But when we're talking about SEO itself, when we're talking about maybe just your site, not just with not just with adding blog posts, is that you can use AI and ChatGPT to do keyword research. So like the pest control example we just gave, and we're going to dive in and we're going to try one out with a different vertical. But keyword research is, we could go in and say, what are top keywords to use when building a website for a commercial pest control company? It's going to do some digging, going to do things. It's going to come back with some suggestions. Some of those things you may already have built into your website. There's going to be some of them that are obvious, but then you can expound on that. You can ask it further, or you can even tell it, these are my top keywords. If you're watching your analytics like you should be, or if you have someone like us watching your analytics, we can go in and say, these are my top performing keywords. Give me keywords that are like them, or complementary to them. So that way we can make sure those things are added. You can also do keyword optimization. Keyword optimization is really what we just talked about. It's a little bit of tweaking. It's finding out what keywords are working and building off of those. You also have additional phrases and different things that can be added to keywords that are performing well to make them perform even better. You can do city specific, you can do town specific, area specific. Like, there's just certain things that you want to be optimizing your keywords. You don't want to be on that front page of Google and before you know it, someone is outranking you because they've gone gone in and done some of these optimizations. They've been able to find more keywords that are ranking better, and some of the outliers. I love outlier keywords. They're not super competitive. There's not a lot of people going after them, and you can implement them. But you can use ChatGPT and different AI tools to be able to make sure that you are not only using the right keywords, but using the right complementary keywords, and then also optimizing them and making sure you're using that keyword in every way that you possibly can. You can use it for SEO friendly topics, as you can find out what are people kind of searching for, what questions do they have. This is one of those tools that we like to use a lot, and we'll use different like Quora and things like that. I think we've talked about it on one of the other podcasts. Is we will go find questions that are being asked about an industry, and then we turn around and answer those questions as the company that has hired us to bring us in. If someone is asking about specific, like let's talk about health and safety with pest control, that was one of the topics in the blog, so we can go back to that. Is it safe for me to be doing commercial pest control in my child care facility? That may be one of the questions that's out there. Or is there anything that could be harmful to? And we're going to go answer that question, and we're going to do it in the way of maybe a blog post. We're going to do a regular post. We're going to have it on our website, probably under frequently asked questions. Another step that you can take, a little time consuming, is you can be the ones going and answering those questions on some of those websites. Now, I don't want to get down the rabbit trail, because going on Quora or something like that and answering those questions, that person may be in like Anchorage, Alaska, and you're in like where we are in DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth. You're not going to get necessarily any business from that. But if you're able to go back to your website and add some of those things, but you can ask ChatGPT, what are some of the most frequently asked questions about X, Y, and Z? And then you can turn around and turn that into a blog post, social media content, and of course, adding it to your website to produce better SEO results. You can obviously do performance analytics. You can ask it to review now with the new plugins and things that are available on ChatGPT 4. And I do want to preface and say that ChatGPT 4, you are going to pay for. It's a very small expense. We'll say $15-20 a month, something like that. But there are certain features that you unlock. It can use more internet access. It can do more searching. It can generate the images like we talked about. There's some additional features. There's a bunch more that you can go research if you're really interested. But to do certain things, to have it really have those plugins available, you're going to have ChatGPT 4. So that's my disclaimer. Not sponsored by them by any means. I mean, if they want to pony up, that would be fantastic. We'll take it as another leg. But let's hop over there and let's kind of take a look at what that would look like. Switching that over there. So here's what we want to do is let's pick another industry. There we go. Look at her do it. Okay, so let's pick a different industry. What did we do? We did pest control. What else did we do? We can do what we do. We can do marketing and advertising. Let's just start here. What are the top keywords used for SEO ranking word? Or let's just say A for marketing and spell again correct. Let's start there, see what it produces. What are the top keywords to use for SEO ranking for a digital marketing and advertising agency in Dallas, Fort Worth? And so it's going to kind of give us a recap and it's going to start producing. So what does it say so far? For a digital marketing and advertising agency in Dallas, Fort Worth area, focusing on location-specific and industry-relevant keywords is crucial for effective. We know these things. It's giving us a little bit of recap. But here are some of them. Dallas Digital Marketing Agency, Fort Worth Advertising Services, Digital Marketing Services Dallas, SEO Services Fort Worth, Online Marketing Agency, DFW PPC Management, web design, which we're not big on, but Fort Worth Branding Services, Email Marketing Solutions, Local SEO Service Dallas, Fort Worth Digital Strategy Consultant, Social Media Advertising Dallas, DFW Online Branding Solutions, Dallas E-Commerce Marketing. There's 20. It just produced us 20. Let's just say we are ranking page 1 for DFW Social Media Marketing. Please provide 20 additional keywords. So what I'm asking is we are ranking page 1 for DFW social media marketing. Please provide 20 additional keywords that expound on this keyword. So this is just another step. Like I asked it like high level, and this is all information that you would need to have. You would need to dive into your analytics and go, where are we ranking? Even if you're not page one, I don't care. For page 5, obviously the goal let's get you to page 1. But you need to know some of that information that you can give it initial. So like we had these, like if I was starting from scratch, now I've got 20 of them. That the idea with SEO is that you're going to build this into your website. You are going to have titles and text and things in your website that have these keywords tied into them. And you would a simple sentence that would be in there is, we are the #1 Dallas digital marketing agency available to small and medium-sized businesses. Going down there, we are the digital advertising experts in Dallas and Fort Worth that specialize in, social media advertising. Like you would just work some of these keywords into your website. But going back down here, as we asked it to expound on it, is social media management services, DFW, social media strategy in Dallas, Fort Worth, DFW social media consultants, Dallas, Fort Worth social media campaigns, DFW targeted social media ads, influencer marketing services, DFW, Fort Worth social media workshops. Like this is awesome. This is 20 additional keywords. I got them in 5 seconds. And now I have something that I can go work off of to be able to build out additional content. Again, this is all strategy that I can take directly back to my website. I can take back to, maybe you do have a website person that built your website and you have on retainer to do edits and things like that. I can literally send them this keyword list and say, let me know what you think about these. I would like these implemented across the board. I would like a blog post to go out that implements some of these. What's awesome, and you know what? We're just going to try it, because this is not something that I have tried, is we're going to copy these keywords. Please write a short blog post. Y'all see where I'm going with this. Probably be so much easier if I could get my fat fingers to type correctly. Please write a short blog post about the importance of hiring professional marketing agency for your using these keywords. Paste there. I don't know. I really don't know. A lot of keywords for it to work in, and this is where some of the nonsense could come in. I mean, it's writing, and I see some of them already in there. Okay, so we're just going to start reading it a little bit. Maximizing your business potential with a professional digital marketing agency in DFW. This is where the expertise of professional digital marketing agency becomes indispensable, especially in the vibrant Dallas-Fort Worth DFW area. Going in the next one. Social media is more than just posting updates. A DFW social media management service can expertly handle all aspects. Let's looking for another keyword here. Tailored social media. With a DFW social media advertising agency, next keyword is navigate the Dallas-Fort Worth social media landscape. It did it. It did it. And this was live for you guys. This is not something that I've even done, trying to take those keywords directly, just copy and paste and do it all. But it went out. I mean, it's still writing. So like number 6, crafting impactful social media campaigns. Dallas-Fort Worth social media campaigns, when executed well, can significantly enhance brand visibility and customer engagement. This is great. This is great stuff. So that's another great example. We're going to hop back over here into our normal go. So that's just a few things that you can do to use ChatGPT specifically. And there's other AI tools that may be more specific to your business, but that is something you can use ChatGPT specifically for. And I know this is a hot topic, and some of you are going to watch this and go, and I get it. I'm not trying to replace our job for sure, because this is something, these types of things are what people hire us for on a daily basis, to figure these things out for them. And there's even some companies that will call us and go, hey, we may get calls from this video and go, hey, all that AI and ChatGPT stuff you talked about, love it. Don't care if that's exactly what you do for us. We don't have time to even do that. Send me an invoice. And I get that. But for some of you, you're in a place to where you want your business to get to that point, is that you go, I want to grow to that point to where I can go, hey, Speak Loud Group, here's some money. Everything that you've taught me and I know and I could do, I don't have time because I'm focusing on continuing to grow the business. I'm focused on training staff. I'm focused on expanding. I'm opening another location. You come handle that. Totally fine. But what I want to do and what the purpose of even this podcast is that we're learning and we're learning from each other and we're learning from things that are out there and we're taking key topics and hot points and things like that. And we're doing interviews with other business owners that have been down certain roads and have struggled with certain things and have overcome those things and have a cool story and an inspiring story that we can all take something from. So that's what we're doing today with ChatGPT. Some of you may never implement this, and that's totally fine. You may continue to do it yourself. You may continue to struggle with it. You may just not do it at all. And that's your call. You're the business owner, you're the boss. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're trying to simplify your life and you're trying to do things better in your business, but you need it to be efficient, then this is a way. Even if it's for idea generation, even if it's to help you come up with a concept or an idea to go and start creating that content. I hope this sparks something. But here's some additional tips and tricks. Automate routine tasks like analytics. You can set certain automations to happen. You can have ChatGPT run some of this keyword stuff on a regular basis. You can set calendar events up to run some of these things. You can do market research. You can ask ChatGPT to examine your market. And we talked about a little bit of like search traffic and things like that. Some of that is limited. It's not going to give you maybe the exact results that like, Google Analytics or things like that would, but it can give you a starting point. You can create AI chatbots. So if you want to install something on your website to where it is going to be AI, so it's not going to be, like a real person, but it can get pretty close, is that you can create AI chatbots. That way, when someone goes to your website and it says, chat with us now, they can have a base conversation, and you can build out automations also. And this is something that we can do, but you can have it where it would go through, a chain of command where it would ask specific questions and they have to answer the questions with either one of 4 answers. If they don't, then it's going to kick them over to a live person that you could possibly have a VA handling that, or you could have it kicked back to the office. We've built out automations, not necessarily AI, but we've built out automations through text where they can text in a certain number and they can ask questions and it will interact with them. And then ultimately it's kicking it back to you as either a lead or a follow-up or an emergency or whatever it may be. There's a lot of things, again, just saving your time from that initial touch point of that you may not be the person that needs to handle that from step one. Needs to kick to the right department or work through the right things. I love ChatGPT for bouncing ideas. I understand that ChatGPT is not a business coach. They have not experienced actual real life business growth, but being able to take it and put an initial idea inside of ChatGPT and say, this is what I'm working on. And it could be a funnel, it could be a program, it could be a course, it could be something for a client, but to be able to take that and plug it in and say, this is what I'm working on. Expound on this. Tell me what you like about it. Give me additional ideas. Give me 4 additional course steps, for this. Maybe we're launching a webinar funnel series for one of our clients and they have no idea where they want to go from the funnel to here to there. And we want to create some additional steps. Maybe it's an industry that we don't really know that well. We're on the kind of pathway that if we feel like that we can bring value from what we do, then we're willing to take on a client. We don't have a specific vertical or a specific niche. We have several of them that kind of duplicate in that space just because we get really good at it, and then others want to work with us. HVAC, dental, whatever, that we may do different things for different people, but we always separate those markets. We don't want to compete against our own clients. That would be counterproductive. But what I'm getting at is that we may give it some of that context. This is what we've worked on. This is what has worked. There's been some things that we've asked it and we've gotten an idea from it, but we've never implemented it because we didn't love the idea or it wasn't a complete thought. It was like a piece of an idea and it gave us our spark that we needed to go off into that, left field or next direction without, chasing a rabbit down a rabbit trail. So growth hacks, I like using it for that, at least being able to bounce things off of it or put initial concepts or ideas in there and get some feedback from it. I would experiment. I mean, it's one of those things to be able to, we just did one live. We went in here and asked it. We gave it those keywords that it gave us and said, hey, write an entire blog post with these keywords. Like things like that where you can start, take some time to what could ChatGPT do for us? What could AI do for us? And play around with it, experiment with it. A lot of us that are finding out about this new technology, everything that I'm showing you here today, I've not learned from someone else. I've learned from sitting here exploring ChatGPT. I'll take a little bit of time, afternoon, evenings, whatever, if I got a little lull or I had a meeting that canceled, and I'll hop in there and I'll start giving it different prompts and I'll just see what it's able to generate. And from that, I'm able to take that knowledge back to our clients and say, hey, We were in ChatGPT, and like, this is something that we're capable of doing. Let me give you an example. And if I go and put this in front of them, like, if I went and put some of this stuff in front of a pest control company and said, hey, this is some of the things, are you guys interested in us having, writing you some blogs to be posted and listed on your website? And look, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's generated through ChatGPT. We're going to monitor it. We're going to proof it. We're going to edit it. We're going to post it. But it's not a human having to sit here and write this entire, 3-page thing out every single day for a blog post. I can probably give them a better deal. I can probably include it in the services, not necessarily included in their current services, but I can add it on for a smaller piece of the pie than if I had a human interaction that I was hiring someone to write blog posts. And I don't want to get in the argument of like, it would be better if you could hire that person to sit in that seat. Some businesses are just not in that space. They are not in the position to, if I offered them, I can, hey, got this new staff member and we're going to write you some blogs, but I got to pay this person's salary. So, the way for me to be able to get that done is I've got to overcharge you for these blog posts because you're the first 5 customers to come on board wanting to do blogs. If I'm able to put a Band-Aid on it and be able to go over to ChatGPT, again, I'm going to be forthcoming with my clients and say, this is how we're doing it. And let me show you some examples and see what you think. You guys could do this, but most of my clients, the reason they hire us is they don't want to. They don't have time. They got to focus on the business, not this stuff. They hire us to do it. They don't care how we get it done. They just want it to get done. They want it to be right, but they just want it to get it done. Last but not least is there's a Canva kind of shortcut or hack that we have experimented with and have tried. You do still have to create. But so, for example, if we went in and we said the 30-day post, the content creation side, if we went in, we asked ChatGPT to generate us 30 days worth of post. The ones it generated, I would have had it expound on a little bit. I like more text than it gave us just very little text. So I would have adjusted that and been like, give us, a longer post. But then what we're able to do is Canva has an import and batch feature that you can go inside of ChatGPT. And I'll switch screens. I won't be able to show you the full example, but I can at least show you what I'm talking about. We'll switch back over here. So we'll go back up to our kind of 30 days of postings. That right here. So these right here, you can actually take these, you kind of come over here and copy and paste it. Like you go through here like this, go and paste that into like a Google Sheet. And then you can export that Google Sheet as a CSV file. Now you want them broken out into days, so that way the Canva will recognize it. But if you went into Canva and you duplicated, you had a design that you made. Let's just say that let's say you get organized a little bit. Every day one is say Monday, and you can have it, name it whatever you want, and it changes from day to days of the week. And you wanted every Monday to be a motivational Monday post. Or you wanted every Wednesday to be a work Wednesday post where you were posting about a project that you just completed or were currently working on. Well, then you go create one graphic that is the work Wednesday post. And it could have like a hashtag work Wednesday. It could have a certain background. It could have your logo down on it. But then you are able to import and batch export 30 days worth of it. Now, every 30 days, you only have 4 Wednesdays in a month, but you would import those and you're able to export. It would drop this text that we had generated, like this one, I don't see the work Wednesday, but project highlight was complete bathroom overhaul. We recently revamped an entire bathroom. Swipe for stunning results, makeover Monday. And that's a Monday post, right? But let's say it was hashtag work Wednesday. So you can take that text would be automatically added to the graphic. You could drop a particular photo in there. This one's a certain example of like actual projects. So you would have to have different photos that you would drop in there, but it'd be pretty easy for you to upload 4 photos from 4 different projects and then just kind of drop those over there into the graphic. But if you did, a staff highlight is that you could have it generate that. It would drop the text automatically into the graphic and you're able to batch export those. So we did something as a test on our social media accounts is that I took a graphic that looked like a notebook piece of paper. So it looked like we were taking notes and it said like tip of the day. And it was social media marketing, advertising type tips. Obviously that's just what we do. That's what the content we put out. But I went and I used ChatGPT to generate those tips, give me, I think I did 7. I was like, I'm gonna do it for 7 days straight. Generate me 7 social media tips, for small and medium-sized business owners to level up their social media game for a social media post. And it gave me like tip number 1 is, consistency. You want to be consistent with, da, 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 da. And it gave me like a little, couple sentences. took that, and it gave me 7 days worth of that, exported it, put it in a Google Sheet, exported that as a CSV file, and was able to put that. And if you're curious on how to do that, it's really not hard. Go over to YouTube and ask it, batch export from Canva, and it's going to be a 3-minute video, and you're going to be like, I'm a professional, I'm a graphic designer. But the reality is like we were able to export those tips extremely quickly, and we're able to get content out extremely quickly. And so instead of us sitting there every day or once a week and going, I've got to come up with all these things to say, is we did it as an experiment. We actually personally we like to put out our own content. We just do it on a regular basis. But again, for the purpose of teaching our clients, we have clients that hire us for the ad side to run ads, but then they will handle organic in-house because they're like there every single day. They'll post the photos and they'll go, post about a job that they have coming up or a new project. They'll screenshot a review. They'll do the day-to-day stuff. They want us doing kind of the lead gen side. So we want to have some of these tools available that we could show to some of our clients and go, here's how easy this is. If you need a little more time or you need to produce a little more content, like here's a way that you can do that. And it's very, very simple and very easy to do. So that is the rundown from us on kind of what you can do with AI and using it in your business. Is that there's so much that is out there that you should be using and could be using to make your life easier, to save you time, to execute at a higher level, to do better research. And sometimes you don't know what direction to go in. You don't know where to look or who to look to or what advice to get. So this is, I hope, helpful to you guys to be able to, even if it sparks an idea or a part of the process or just something that you can experiment with. This may not revolutionize, it may not change your business overnight, but it is something that you can go strategize with, you can play around with, you can experiment with. And the reality of it is, even if you use ChatGPT to just bounce things off of, if you go in and you go, okay, ChatGPT, we're thinking about adding, what are some additional services that we could add to our business? It may give you some stuff off the wall, but it may give you 1 or 2 ideas that you go, that's great. Like that's something we hadn't thought about. We haven't thought about layering that or stacking that in. And you may refine it. You may clean it up a little bit. It may not be perfect when it spits it out, but the reality of it is you may not have thought of that idea if it would not have been for it to kind of spark that in you. So I'm just going to ask that you take some of those things. If you found something helpful here, awesome. Leave us a like, comment on the video. Those of you that are watching this on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate you guys. We've gotten some comments. We've gotten some subscribers over there. If you're not following us or haven't subscribed on YouTube, I would encourage you to do so. If you're watching bits and pieces of this over on TikTok where we post a lot of the clips, I would encourage you, go hop over to YouTube, watch the full episode, because if you took a nugget from one of our videos or one of our interviews, it's more than likely there was more in that video that you could actually learn from and take from as well. And trust me, every single one of these episodes, every single one of these interviews that we're doing, I'm learning something from one of the entrepreneurs and business owners that we're interviewing. It's helpful for me. I hope that I'm able to be helpful for them. And then at the end of the day, we're able to be helpful to the audience that's watching. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm looking forward to everything that we've got planned coming up for some of the awesome guests that are lined up. And I've got some conversations to have today about lining guests up for the rest of going through March, April, May. And I'm stoked about it. So again, appreciate you guys being on this journey with us. And new kind of little setup here. You'll still see me at the other. We have a whole nother setup that is in another office that I like to use as well. But this is kind of going to be our primary. And so I'm looking forward to using this space. It's something that we've been working on, trying to get kind of put together and pieced together. And it's not 100% done, but it's getting there. But again, appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for watching today. Make sure if you're on the YouTubes, make sure that, do us a favor, like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Would love to have you back. If you're a business owner and you're interested in being on the podcast and being interviewed, comment, message, do whatever you got to do to get a hold of us. We pay attention to the comments. We're watching for those messages. So if you're interested in being interviewed, we do have some parameters that we're setting going into 2024. We want to ensure that these interviews are beneficial to the audience watching, and that the business has reached at least a certain point to that way it is beneficial to the entire viewership or the entire audience. And not to say that small businesses aren't important. And small business is, to me, a mindset. It's not necessarily a monetary number. So we do have some parameters that we're setting because we want to ensure that we're able to have the right guest on here and we're able to relay the right information and get the right kind of advice, things that are out there. Some people that, they're still working up to a certain level, they may have tried things that actually may not have been 100% correct. And so we just want to protect our audience and protect what we're trying to do. But we're stoked. We're extremely excited about what we've already done with the podcast and the people that we've already had on here, the ones that are already lined up, and then the feedback that we've gotten from you guys. So I appreciate you, those of you on YouTube, those of you that are listening on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else, and those of you that are checking out the clips on TikTok. Appreciate you. Go out and kill it, and we'll talk to you guys soon.